carne asada, dudes. So we traded in the 3rd gen and we copped a hybrid. Just kidding, dudes. Didn't do that. It doesn't feel like a taco. I don't know how else to put it. The little sound of the 4-cylinder turbo kind of gives you the diesel vibes. I mean, guys, it's a good looking truck. There's no denying that. I mean, it looks good, dude, for sure. I'm not gonna hate on it that bad. And when they lift them and put wheels and tires, they look sick. But yeah, 60 grand before all your taxes and APR. I don't know if it's worth it. People say, oh, this fucking leaves the 3rd gen in the dust. Way better truck. I see what they mean, just as far as like creature comforts, tech. Most people that know how to work on shit and value the old core of Toyota, you can add a subwoofer. You don't need like computer gauges. I don't need to have adaptive cruise control. I don't need a blind spot monitor. Like, I don't need auto high beams. They're all things that are a little bit convenient sometimes, but I feel like you buy a Tacoma to have a robust truck and do Taliban shit with, you know? You want to fucking load shit in the back, put a machine gun on the back, ramble through some stuff. This truck, I'm sure, could do it, but why would you want to do that? You spend so much money on it. And that goes back to my point of, if you're going to spend that much money, I think it'd be worth it just to get a Tundra. They're going to fix the engine issues. You got a V6 in there, twin turbo, more space in the back. So my overall review is it's a cool truck. You know, yeah, there's some quality concerns, I think, just with materials and longevity, and we don't know about the motor. You add the hybrid in there, you know, there's a hybrid motor in between your transmission and your motor. What happens when that breaks? What happens when your batteries go out? It's kind of a money pit, in my opinion, but yeah, dude, I like the 1st gens, I like the 2nd gens, I like the 3rd gens, and all this stuff is nice. You know, if I was going on vacation and had this at a rental, I wouldn't care, but as far as me spending my money on it, I don't think it's worth it. My fiance, the only thing she likes is the heated seats, because my 3rd gen doesn't have that. So just wanted to give my initial thoughts on it. I mean, I've seen, just like you guys, all the YouTube videos. You know, I think it's a nice truck. You know, it drives great. Honestly, the best way I could describe it is it drives like a Camry truck. I mean, it's smooth. Again, I'm spoiled with this hybrid. Everybody talks about the numbers, you know, 325 horsepower, 460 something torque. And though I will say it drives good and picks up speed great, and you know, it's got nice linear power. You're doing 80, you don't even notice it. You look down and you're like, oh shit, I'm going, you know, 20 over the speed limit. So the gearing's definitely a lot better than the 3rd gen, I can say that. I don't know if part of that's contributed to the hybrid system. Again, that's why I'm saying I'm spoiled. I would be curious to drive like a non-hybrid and see how that feels, because I mean, I can tell you it doesn't feel like 500 pounds of torque and 325 horsepower. It scoots, but it doesn't feel that fast. You know, if the 2.4 turbo non-hybrid is going to be super slow, I don't know. I would have to drive one to give you my honest opinion. But yeah, so a couple things about the truck that are nice. Start with that. I mean, interior's nice. I mean, it doesn't feel like a truck really. Again, it feels like a Camry or something. You're just kind of cruising. You know, you got your adjustable headlights, auto high beams. You got a pre-wired switches for auxiliary stuff, lights, whatever, which is cool. You got the cool little, you know, on the go pop out speaker while it's in. It's part of the, you know, sound system in the truck. Everybody complains about this in person. This isn't like some loose rattle. This is like spring loaded and tight. You know, shifter, it kind of feels, honestly, I hate the shifter. It's big. It feels like 3D printed plastic. It's kind of janky feeling. Stuff like this, you know, your doors, they're kind of flexi plastic, everything like that. So that's all, you know, there's no denying it's got a little cheap feel, but it's nice. I mean, this one's got the heated steering wheel, heated seats. It goes on and off like the 3rd gens, but I love how you can see your phone. That's nice, instead of it laying flat where you're like, you know, trying to see your screen while you're driving, kind of dangerous. Again, you lose the storage in the back seats, and I mean, this seat's in a comfortable position for like a 6-foot person. You don't got much to work with back there. I've put myself back there. You fit, but it's tight, this truck. But honest opinion of a guy that owns a 3rd gen, it's a nice truck. The gearing's definitely better, but again, with the hybrid thing, I'm not sold. I mean, I've been trying to be easy on it. I got a 16.6 average. I got more than that in my 3rd gen V6 lifted on 33s. Hybrid is like a rocket ship. It's not. I mean, it scoots, but it's nothing to write home about, if I'm being honest. I'd like to drive one without the hybrid so I can get a feel for that, but it's everything I need. I don't know. I'm not a fancy guy. I'm not one person that's like, oh yeah, dude, I gotta have my drive mode so I can, like, yeah, dude, it's like whatever, you know, purse hook. Yeah, again, not trying to talk shit, but I see what people mean by, you know, weird shit about it, right? I think we can all agree the air dam's ugly as fuck. 2400 watts, I think that's cool. I like how there's bed lights in there. See, this is a different video, you know? Most of these videos on these 4th gens are like, oh, this fucking sucks. It's gonna get there, but you know, it's got some cool things going on. Bed lights, actual usable power outlet. What else is nice about it? This one has heated seats. Speaking of seats, the seats are definitely really comfortable. You know, 3rd gens are not the most comfortable ride. We all know that. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, which is kind of nice. You know, I mean, here's your space. You got enough for your jack and your you know, that's about it. Again, JBL, so on that side it's just a sub hybrid, so you can't use the storage space. I think that's kind of lame. I do like how they have the 2400 watt 110 back here. That's cool. So there's some cool things about this. And honestly, I was kind of like, all these people are talking shit, man. They're just broke boys. But really, like, I kind of already missed my 2017 3rd gen. Like, the freaking, this key, it feels like a little toy key. Like my 3rd gen, it's like got some weight, which I know it doesn't matter, it's a key, but I thought that was kind of weird. And then you got all this shit down here, and all that shit, and there's just shit everywhere. So I got in, I was like, what the fuck, you know? I'm in my archaic 3rd gen, so, you know, I'm not used to that shit. But the rat's nest under here, and definitely got a lot going on, but you know, everything has its home. You got the hybrid system in this one, so it's a little more cluttered, but you know, as far as like build quality on like this, it looks good. Like my 3rd gen, this fucking grill rattles like a fucking spray paint can. This one feels pretty solid. This is nice. Even this part, you know, the 3rd gens, everybody knows that has a 3rd gen, this thing just fucking wobbles. That's good. Spark plugs are way easier to do on this for sure. As far as everything else, you know, turbo related, it looks pretty crammed in there. I thought this was kind of funny too. It's like the aftermarket coolant temp sensor from the factory. So you got like a little chode hose to another hose to a tee off to another hose. So I don't know, I really didn't want to jump on the bandwagon of like, oh, the 4th gens are cheap, but if I'm being honest, I'm just ready to get my old girl back. Yeah, of course you're gonna talk smack on the new one. Just give it some time, everybody's gonna love it. I don't think I could do the hybrid. A non-hybrid one, it would be kind of cool, like in a manual maybe, but you hear all the horror stories about the manuals, and then, you know, bump stop issues with this weird collar that cracks when you're off-road. The frame looks beef, I will say that. See a lot of the frame when you're walking up to the truck, and also hangs down super low, like how boom, got that big old spare tire. Tow hitch is there, the tire's barely past it, but I could see that being an issue off-road. Rear coil suspension with the 4-link setup would be like butter, but if I'm being honest, it kind of is like, drives like a leaf sprung truck, which I guess is cool in a sense because it's, you know, feels like an old truck, but everybody talked up that 4-link like, oh god, so much better traction, and I had a little bit less hoppy maybe. It was my loaner while my 3rd gen was getting the white paint fixed and a couple other things. So this was kind of my opportunity to give a quick review. So yeah, I mean, and these are hilarious. This little sticker, I feel like it would look better just with nothing, or I mean, they could have done like a dope bigger decal on here. Head, it's deeper, which is kind of cool. It's about the same size as the 3rd gen. It's not quite 4 feet, so if you're trying to put like plywood or sheetrock in there, you're kind of screwed. You know, you got this gap here, right? It's almost a finger. And this truck has 800 miles on it. And then this side, you got the, you know, these 2nd gen guys. When I had my 2nd gen, I unloaded a dirt bike one time softly, and it fucking tacoed my tailgate. And the lightest little fucking tailgate, and I would hope it's stronger than the 2nd gens, but that's one thing I like about the 3rd gen. It's got a super chunky tailgate. You don't feel like you're gonna break it slamming stuff down. It does have the rear window on this one, but super tight. Like, look at how thin these little, you know, toe chain hook points are. Everything else looks pretty beefy, but you know, you got weld spackle all over this thing, and that exhaust is pretty funny. Everybody's got their preference. This body line is kind of cool, but that's the one thing I've always said with these tacos. Like, when I see a stock one, I think it's butt ugly. 35s and everything, it looks pretty cool. So I guess I gotta drive like a non-hybrid, you know, kind of modded out one to really give honest opinions on the truck. But yeah, I was shocked to not really just fall in love with it, to be honest with you. It kind of made me appreciate the simplicity of the 3rd gen. And my 3rd gen hasn't been perfect. Now it's pretty dialed in, and I love that truck. So, you know, nothing's gonna be perfect, obviously, from stock form, especially if you're into doing mods and, you know, off-roading and whatnot. But I can definitely say I'm not a huge fan of the hybrid powertrain. Yeah, it's kind of torquey. It's smooth, it drives good on the highway. Got the 8-speed transmission. So lifted 35s, maybe a manual, and see what that feels like. If that feels like more like a taco, before I really like, oh, I hate these. But yeah, part of me gets why people say they're cheap. The other part, you know, is kind of just the bad hype that goes around with it. You know, everybody's looking for problems, just like what happened with the 3rd gen from the 2nd gen, right? It'd be interesting to see how these age. And yeah, I need to definitely drive one that's not hybrid, and probably a manual, and just kind of see if that is more of a Tacoma heart. It's like a Camry truck. That's like the best I could put it. Solid, but not. It's like hard to explain. Go check it out. Go to a dealer, go check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. Just wanted to take advantage of having this hoopty in the driveway. Give some insight. Try to be real with it. Say anything about the shocks blowing out. I'm not gonna go off-road this thing and get hit with a bill. I might do some light fire trails and just see how the 4-wheel drive feels and everything, but on this thing, so you can see what I'm talking about. You know, they say it has 325 horsepower, 465 torque, but watch, matted. And you get some clunky shifts too. Hands down, dude. I'd rather have a 12 valve Cummins. Yeah. Again, cool little rental truck. I'm glad I got to drive it. I'm glad I got to get my own opinion on it. But yeah, I don't see myself throwing 60K down the drain on this, if I'm being honest. So, all right, guys, appreciate you guys watching. Hope you all have a good one, and see you on the next one.